Hey guys, welcome to the Black Film Guild. It's Walter here, and today I want to briefly talk with something that I think is really important. Sometimes it's overlooked, and I think it's very, very valuable. It's going to help you out with just getting things accomplished. Before I even get into that, I want to go ahead and introduce someone today. This is my good friend Curtis. He's helped me out with a lot of projects in the past. He has his own projects that he might go into later on that he's currently working on. Just a really good guy, entrepreneur. He's in San Francisco, good contact. I'll probably leave his information in the description below if you want to get in contact with him if you have questions about anything he talks about today. But with that being said, we're going to jump into what this is about, and this is for 2017 goal list. I think it's really important to do goal lists every year. I started doing it last year and had a ton of success. And so, with that being said, I want to just go into why I wanted to make this video. So I think that as filmmakers or people interested in film and just life in general, having a goal list is just really important. It's going to help you stay organized, but also it's going to help you become way more productive in what you're trying to do. And I'm saying this from experience. So it might seem like, oh, it's going to take more time to do, but trust me, you're going to be so grateful that you did it. And what we're going to do is jump into how to make this 2017 goal list the way that I did last year. And by doing it this way, it's going to help you for the entire year. And so Curtis is actually the person who helped me with doing my goal list, and he's going to kind of lead this process because he has a lot of experience and he's very good at doing this. So with that being said, Curtis, you want to start up with what we need to do to start this goal list? What do we do?
Absolutely, and I appreciate Walter for inviting me to walk him, walk him through this goal list and share it with you guys watching. So this process is actually a goal setting process that took a few years to kind of perfect. But it's really been helping me over the last few years. I shared it with Walter; he got a lot out of it, and so we think that you guys will get a lot out of it as well. So first things first, a few things you want to know about this process. We call this the 2017 10x goal list. The reason I call it 10x is because it really is going to push the limits in terms of what you feel that you're capable of doing. The sort of main focus here is to try to restrict or take away any limitations you may have placed on yourself in the past, and really aim on trying to go as far as you can with a lot of these type of goals that you're going to be putting on this paper. And so the main idea is if you were to push the limits on this goal, even if you don't hit it, you will get really close you'll still accomplish more than what you would have if you were just trying to limit yourself with what you're able to do. So that's one thing to take note of. The other few things to take in consideration, the first part of the process is going to require you to have a minimum of 50 goals. Now, you might be thinking, hey, that's a lot. I barely have 15 things that I can think of. That's okay. I'm going to have some strategies here to use or to share with you that's going to help you come up with some goals that you may not be thinking of in certain categories. So don't worry about that. The other thing to keep note of is that this is end of the year focus. The first part of the process is focused on that end of the year result. So as you're going through and you're marking your goals, think about that. What is the result that I want at the end of the year? So for example, if one of your goals is going to be a financial goal, say savings account, and you want to save $12,000, right, for the end of the year, make sure that that's the end of the year result, because the approach that we're going to use is actually a quarterly focused goal list. We'll explain what that means a little later, but you would break down that 12 grand quarterly, right? And so it's not that so basically the end of the year is where you want to be focused at. And then think big, and we talked about that with no limitations. Get really creative. Remove any sort of setbacks or beliefs that you have. Just let your mind wander. The first things that come to your mind, go with that and think really big. Okay, so that's the things to think about in the first part of this process. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing you want to do, Walter, is you mark your page 2017 Master Goal List. What I want you to do now is 1 through 50, go through and write down all the goals that come to mind in terms of what you want to be doing for this entire year. That's actually a important note that I forgot to mention. The only limitation is just in 1 year. A lot of people sometimes will put goals down that are more than 1 year. It may take 2 or 3 years for them to accomplish. That can actually work against you. So we want to make sure that the stuff that we're putting down are goals that we really think that we can accomplish in 1 year. So we're going to take some time to do that. Walter's going to go through his list. Make sure that you number your items 1 through 50. And again, you don't want to limit yourself. So it can be something as easy as, hey, I want to get a massage. I want to get 12 massages for the year, right? Or I want to save X amount of dollars. And so you just want to take time and do that.
Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to take a few minutes to do this, mark out my 50. If you want to do the same thing right now, feel free to just stop the tape or just continue along when you get done. But I'm going to go work on that right now.
Excellent. So Walter's doing his master list right now. And as you know, when you're doing a list like this, considering that you're trying to aim for 50 goals, a lot of times you'll get stuck. So let's talk about that for a second. Try to make sure that you're covering all the categories that matter to you the most. So for example, some categories may be health. What's some health goals that you have? Physically speaking, how many times you want to go to, how often do you want to go to the gym, right? If the more that you can put a number to your goals or value to it, the better it's going to be for you in the long run. So if going to the gym is a goal of yours, try to avoid putting things like, go to the gym more. You want to say, go to the gym at least 3 times a week, right? Or take a run every single day or something like that. Also think about medical, right? If you haven't went to the dentist last year, or you know that you need to go to the doctor for a checkup, like put things like that on there. The best part about that, usually that's only one time, and so once you do it, it's an easy win, and you can cross that off your list, right? So make sure that you're covering any sort of medical goals that you have. Some other categories to think about: traveling. Where do you want to go? What do you want to see? Make sure you put those destinations on your list. Also think about leisure, like time that you're going to take for yourself. That's one category that a lot of people don't pay attention to, but taking morning walks is very important to you, and it makes you the better version of yourself. You want to put that on there. Or if you're a woman and you like going to the spas and do treatments like that to yourself, make sure that goes on the list. How many times you want to go throughout the year? So those are just a few categories. But again, other ones to consider is family, business, business goals that you may have. You may also want to think about, spirituality, and you can also think of what's another one that we said earlier, financial goals, things like that. So anyway, that
all right,
through for 50. That should take care of it.
I went ahead and got my 50 down. So what do we do next? What's next?
Excellent. So now that you got the 50. The second step you're going to do is you're going to go through your list and you want to mark down all the ones that are the most important to you. Okay. And then you want to rewrite that list onto another sheet of paper.
Okay. So when you say that the ones that are most important to me, I have 50 here. How many should I write down? Like 20, 15, all of them?
Great. No. So great question. So just the ones that stand out to you as the most important. Don't limit yourself. You may end up with 10. You may end up with 25. You may even end up with the whole list. But chances are it's probably going to be between 10 to 15, maybe even 20 different goals that you're going to have. So just go through the list, put the dot next to the ones that are a priority to you that stand out the most or the most urgent right now that you want to accomplish.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, and we'll go ahead and come back when I go ahead and fill out the ones that are the highest priority to me. Okay, so I just got done rewriting all of my goals right here, and so Curtis is going to go ahead and tell me what the next step is. So what do I do next now that I've actually rewritten all of my goal list from my original 50? I have 29 now. Excellent. So what's the next step for me?
Awesome. So now that he's got 29, the next step that we're going to do is we're actually going to renumber or reorganize the list of 29. The main reason here is basically the the ones that you've identified as being the most important, you transferred onto a new piece of paper. But now we have to organize it, and the most important out of the 29. Because we're working from a list, from a psychological standpoint, when we're looking at that list, we tend to our eyes will tend to follow with whichever one is on top, right? Meaning that we may place more importance to that goal that's listed number 2, even though number 5 actually may be more important. So because we know that, we want to put the list in the order of importance, so that way if we do that, it's okay, because we're most likely going to tackle the most important one first anyway.
Okay.
So Walter's going to go ahead and reorder his list.
Yeah.
Which I think he's already done.
I already did that. Yeah. So
Excellent.
so you have an understanding of what that is, I'm going to go ahead and put my list, or how I kind of did it, up on the screen right now. So that way you kind of see what we mean by the number of lists and then reordering it into the number of importance. So just that way you can understand what he's saying by that.
Excellent. So let's go on to step 3 now.
All
right. So now on step 3, this is where it gets really fun. We're going to go through each of his goals and actually check to make sure that it fits the sort of 10x philosophy. Just to backtrack real quick, 10x is basically it's a sort of understanding that you're going to try to maximize your efforts on each goal that you're trying to reach. And so what that has to do a lot of time is how you actually write in the goal itself. So for example, and I think I said this earlier, but if I had as one of my goals to get fit or to work out more, at first glance, that sounds like a pretty good goal, but it's not really tangible. There's nothing there for me to be able to identify as a way of me analyzing if I accomplished that or not, right? Or for me to assess how I did. So a better version of that would be to say, work out 3 times a week, right? Or attend a fitness class 5 times a week, or run every day. So those are the type of things that we're going to look for. So we're going to go through his list, and he's going to read them off to me, or at least a couple of them, and then we're going to work on rewriting it and see if we can make it sound better.
And so just for to preface it, I kind of done this last year. I did it last year, so I kind of when I was developing my list, I kind of kept that in mind when I was doing it. So I'll go ahead and read off a couple of mine. So one of mine is to attend a Giants game. I currently work kind of near the stadium, so I kind of want to go at lunchtime and just go to one of the games in 2017.
Okay, so that's a good example. So one good way to rewrite that was to say, put a number to it. Attend one Giants game.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, and then one of my other ones is walk the lake once a week. Walk Lake Merritt once a week.
There we go. So that's a good point. So you see, as Walter, at first he said walk the lake, and then he said walk Lake Merritt. So you want to make sure you be as descriptive as possible. So if yours is something similar, make sure you identify the name of the place that you're going and where it's at, right? So Lake Merritt is the actual name of the lake. That makes it a lot easier.
Okay. Another one I have is visit Amsterdam with friends.
Okay. Now here, he's got the location. He said visit Amsterdam. That identifies how many times he's going. He could say visit Amsterdam once with friends. That could be a little easier. If there's particular friends that you know of, I will put their names next to there. So you want to do that.
All right. You're not on the list, just to let you know.
I don't want to go on the list of them anyway.
I'm just kidding. All right, let's see here. I'll put the list of friends. For sake of time, though, I'll do it later.
Excellent. Yeah,
okay.
That's fine.
All right, okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Let's do 2 more.
Okay, 2 more?
Yeah.
Okay, so my next one is I want to eat meat once a quarter. Right now I'm eating way too much and I'm getting too big. So I want to drop my weight down a little bit and get a little more healthy. So I want to eat it once a quarter rather than as much as I'm eating it right now.
Wow. Okay, so this is going to be a little difficult one. So so it's hard to put. So are you want to put it like as a number? You want to say eat meat one time? You can say that, right? Or if it's just a matter of cutting it down, right? Then you maybe say you may limit yourself, say once a week or something.
Okay, let's do once a week then. I'll do once a week.
Yeah. So that's a good actually a good point to talk about there. as you're going through, make sure that it's true to what you actually are meaning in terms of what you're capable of doing, right? So in Walter's description, he actually originally said, hey, I just want to cut down. Well, if it was once a quarter, that's more than cutting down, right? That's almost eliminating. You almost might as well just say, hey, not eat meat for the whole quarter. But if it's just cutting down, it's more realistic to say, hey, once a week or something like that.
Okay. And then the last one I have here is go to a concert. I guess I could put go to one concert.
Yep, attend one concert. If you know what type of concert you're thinking about going to, you can say that. So attend one rock concert.
All right.
Or attend one hip hop concert or whatever it is.
But one punk rock concert.
He does look like a punk rock type of guy.
All right, so there we go. So that's the. So I went ahead and I'll go through my list a little later on, but for the sake of time, that kind of gave people an idea of how to specify the different changes in the process. So, all right, now that I have my list in the order of importance, and I kind of have maximized the specificity of everything.
Right.
What is there anything next, or how do I kind of do this next?
Yeah, so you're almost ready to go to the next step. The one thing I would say here before we wrap up this step is to make sure you identify any overlapping goals that you may have. So if you had one, going back to the working out example, if you had one there that said work out 3 times a week, and then on, say, goal number 15, you had something along the lines of work out with a trainer or something like that. Technically, those could actually overlap each other. So you want to eliminate any overlaps that you have to shorten your list a little bit more. I think Walter already did that. It's possible you may took out 1 or 2, but make sure that you spot check your list.
Okay.
Excellent. So now that you have that, we're going to move to step number 4. This is we're kind of almost close to the end here, but this is probably the most important step here. So if just as a recap, Walter went ahead and reorganized the remaining list that he had of importance. Then he went through each one of his goals and made sure that it was as descriptive as possible and actually identified to a tangible either metric or tangible part that he can hold himself accountable to. And then he went ahead and eliminated any sort of overlaps or redundancy that was part of the list. So what we're going to do in step 4 to start off with is actually rewrite the list again in the order that the new order, so to speak, and also with the new descriptive language. So we're going to go through, going to rewrite that, and this is going to be titled actually 2017 Q1 Goals. So what we're doing here is we're condensing the list to focus on the set that he has right here from the master list. This is really important. The main reason being, if he was to work off the main master list, he had over 50. I think he had about 60 different items. That's overwhelming to the senses. So what we're doing here is we're taking a subset of these goals, and these subsets are going to be the primary focus for Q1. So we're just going to start in January, so this gives him 3 months to be able to accomplish the goals that he has on this list. By putting it in the new order that he has, mentally speaking, he should be attacking the most important ones, which will be on the top, going all the way down to the bottom. But this is where his main focus is going to be at for the next 3 months. So as he rewrites this in that order with the new language, now it's time to duplicate these goals. Okay, so you have it on paper. That's great. Give yourself a pat on the back for that. But now you want to make sure you duplicate this and put this goal list everywhere that you possibly can, where you spend the most of your time. So just giving you some examples of where you can put this list at. Walter actually last year made a sort of poster of his goal list. He probably could share with you how he did that. But that's a great idea. It was very visual, and so he put that in his workspace, and so he has to look at it every day. You can also make a small sort of, index card version of your goals. Fold that up, put it in your wallet, put it on your screensaver, right? Like add it to your computer. But the most important thing that you can do is actually make a copy and give it to your accountability partner. I'm not sure if Walter talked to you guys about that in the previous video. If not, no worries. But if you could do this with another friend or a family member or someone that you trust, who also is going to be going through this process or hold you accountable to it, this is the type of person you want to give a copy of your goal list to, and give them the permission to either check in with you on how your goals are going, or at times kind of ask you questions about your sort of updates on what's going on. That's going to be very powerful. You're essentially creating an environment of success for yourself, so that way these goals are always on your mind, and it limits your chances of falling off. Okay. The last thing I would say too is to rewrite, or better yet, just repeat to yourself or read through your list every single day. Preferably, I try to do it in the morning, but you can also do it at night. But the more you read the list every single day, by second, third week, you'll probably be able to regurgitate these by heart. The more it's on your mind, the better it's going to be. It's going to influence the decisions that you make throughout the day that may actually connect to a lot of these goals. So that's the fourth step. Congratulations for going through that. The process may be a little painful at first, but you'll definitely congratulate yourself at the end there.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
So that's the last thing I would say on that. The only other thing as well is keep in mind, if you are lucky enough to get through all your Q1 goals before the end of the month, okay, mark off on your master list each goal that you accomplished, and go back to your master list as the source of truth, right? So repolish your Q2 goals from the master goal list, and then go through the same process. Reorder in number of importance, rewrite to make sure that the goal is very specific, and then be able to place that goal list in all the locations that we talked about.
Exactly. So like with me last year, what I did is I would actually, when I hit a goal, I would mark it off with a Sharpie, just to signify that it's been completed. And when you do that, it's really empowering when you mark off something. It's great. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have here. Is there anything else that you need to know, Curtis, or does that pretty much cover it?
That pretty much covers it. Okay. Good luck this year. Goals are very important. Walking through this process. If you don't do this one or you do another one, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that you go through and you make your goal list. This is a set of the sail, and this kind of points you in the right direction starting off the year.
All right, guys. So I hope this was helpful. Your 2017 goal list. If you have any comments or questions about the goal list, leave a comment below. Curtis or I will be sure to respond. If you have any suggestions for how we think we can improve this goal list, please let us know. That's also very helpful. Remember to like and subscribe. Again, I'll leave Curtis's information in the description below. And I hope you guys have a really good 2017. And I hope you do this goal list and make it as productive as possible. I'll see you guys next time.
Take care.